Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is Selina and today I'm bringing to you this brand new project I'm so excited about. It's a poncho and it has been highly requested for this coming spring summer. It's really easy to crochet and on my blog you will be able to get the free pattern. I will be linking in the down bar. You will be able to get the free pattern with lots of different sizes. So this is a size SM that I will be demonstrating today. However, it's a very inclusive pattern, so the different sizes will be on my blog. So for this project, I used Kobu yarn, I think it's pronounced, by Lion Brand Yarns, and it's really nice. It's 50% cotton, 50% rayon from bamboo, and it's considered a light 3 yarn, which is a DK yarn in British terms, and it was a joy to crochet. It's super soft, it's so soft. So I used a little over 3 skeins of this, so 4 skeins in total. However, you can see I've still got plenty of the 4th skein left, so it doesn't require that much yarn. I used a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, as well as a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle, and that's it for this project. So I hope you enjoy. I will be taking you step by step through this process. There are plenty of pictures on my blog. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I will be talking in US terms. To begin this pattern, I'm just going to show you how to make these 2 panels. So this panel, and we will be making 2 of these before sewing them together. So I'm just going to jump right in and show you how to create these. So to begin, you will be making a slip knot, and also I will be showing you size S, so for any other size just head over to my blog and I will have indicated how many chains you need for each different size that you want to make. So for now, for size S, we are going to be chaining 69. So 1, 2, 3. So I've chained a sample, but the principle is the exact same. So once you've chained 69, or the amount of chains that you needed, just count 1, 2, 3, and 4 chains from your hook, and go ahead and place a double crochet into that. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and this first 3 chains here count as our first double crochet. So now we're just going to go into the next stitch and place another double crochet into that, and into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and into the next, and we're simply going to place double crochets all along this chain. So I'm just going to let you do that, and then I'll get back to you to show you row 2. So I finished my first row, and now I'm just going to show you row 2. So for row 2, you are going to be chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet, so with this stitch. So now we're just going to go directly into the 2nd stitch and place a double crochet into that. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into that. We're going to go into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and into the next stitch, and I'm just going to let you carry on until you reach the end of this row, and then at the end of this row I'll show you what to do to finish off this row. So I've practically finished this row, and I've only got my chain 3 right here from the previous row to pop a double crochet into. So just go ahead and pop a double crochet into that chain 3 from the previous row, and there you go. you've finished your row. So basically just go ahead and place a double crochet into each of those stitches, and don't forget the chain 3 from the previous row. So now for row 3, this is going to change up a bit the pattern, but it will be repetitive. So these 2 rows and then the 2 next rows will be our repeat pattern for this project. So for row 3, chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet and chain 1. And what we are going to be doing, so it goes with this first stitch, of course, and because we've chained 1, we are going to be skipping the next double crochet from the previous row, and we're just going to go directly into the third stitch, if that makes sense. So just go ahead and skip 1, 2 and go into the third stitch right here and place a double crochet into that. Now chain 1, and again you are going to be skipping 1 stitch and going into the next with a double crochet, and chain 1, skip 1 stitch and go into the next with a double crochet, and chain 1 and skip the next stitch and go into the next stitch with a double crochet. And again, this is the chain 3 from the previous row into which you will be placing a double crochet. So just go ahead and do that. So this is what the third row will look like. So now for row 4, chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet and chain 1 space. So you're going to skip this chain space from the previous row and directly go into this stitch and place a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the previous row, chain 1, skip a stitch, which is also the chain 1 from the previous row, and go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch and go into the next stitch, and chain 1. And so now we've reached this chain 4 from the previous row, which, as you recall, is a double crochet and chain space. So just skip that chain space and go into the third chain that we created and place your double crochet into that. And there you go. This is your pattern for now. So we've just created row 4. So now I'm just going to show you row 5. So for row 5, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and this is what it looks like. So this counts as your first double crochet, and we're going to go into the next chain space with a double crochet and place a double crochet into that. So now we're simply going to be making a full row of double crochets, if that makes sense. So these are our full rows, and these are our filet crochet rows with spaces in. So now we're just going to repeat these rows, so row 1, 2, 3 and 4, over and over. So now you are going to be placing a double crochet into the double crochet from the previous row, and you're just going to go into the chain space and place a double crochet into that, and then into the next stitch and place a double crochet into that, and into the next chain space and place a double crochet into that, and now into the next double crochet and place a double crochet into that, and into the next chain space. And then we are going to be placing our last double crochet into the chain 3 from the previous row. So I hope this has made sense for this row. So we're just coming in and placing a full row of double crochets on top of those spaces. And now just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Turn your work. This counts as your first double crochet, and we're just going to go into the next double crochet and place a double crochet on top of that. And in the next stitch, 2, and into the next stitch, and into the next stitch, and just carry on placing your double crochets until you reach the end of this row, and don't forget your chain 3, and I'll get back to you to show you the next row. So now for the next row we are simply going to be creating 2 rows of filet crochet. So for this we are going to be chaining 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet and chain space. Skip the next stitch and go into the third. So just go into the third double crochet from the previous row and place a double crochet into that. Chain 1 and then skip a stitch and go into the next with a double crochet. Now chain 1, skip a stitch and go into the next, and chain 1 and go into the last, so skip a stitch and go into the chain 3 from the previous row, and there you go. So now I'm just going to let you carry this pattern on. You are simply going to be repeating row 4 for the next row. So if you need more help, I'll just let you rewind this video and look at that. And so now you are simply going to be placing row after row of 2 full rows and then 2 filet crochet rows and so on. So I'm just going to let you carry this on. So now you need to repeat row 4 for this, and then row 5 and then row 6 and so on. Don't forget to to check out my free pattern on my blog selinaveronique.com for more help and photographs. And yeah, I'm just going to let you carry this on. So for size S, you will need 54 rows, and for different sizes, you will be needing a different amount of rows. And again, just check out my blog selinaveronique.com to see which size you want to do. And I'll just get back to you once you've finished both panels, and we are just going to be sewing them together to create the poncho. So this is how I've placed my poncho for now. So my 2 panels before we start sewing. It was just easier to show you like this than on the table. And what we are going to do now, sorry about the camera moving, we are going to be sewing this part together. So I'm just going to go back to the table and show you how to do that. It was just easier to show you on the floor. So I'm back at my table and I'm just going to show you how to sew this part in. So I've already tied my yarn onto my project, and I've put my tapestry needle through, and all I'm going to be doing is sewing this in. I'm just going to zoom in actually. Okay, so I've zoomed in and I'm just going to sew this part in using the mattress stitch. You can, however, use whichever sewing method that you prefer. So just go in and out, and then once you reach the end of this stitch, just tie a knot and fasten off, and then I'll get back to you for the rest of the project. Okay, so I'm filming my table now, and what's happened is I finished sewing this seam here. I hope this is making sense. So this is the L that we had, and this is where we've just seamed. And what I've done is I've popped this poncho this way, so now it really is an L. And what we are going to be doing is taking this part right here and folding it simply across like that. Just fold it over very simply. This is where we have the seam underneath. And now we're just going to take this part here. So we're just going to take this part and fold it over here. And this is going to create our poncho. And this is the neck part, and this is obviously the bottom of the poncho. And what we are going to be doing is stitching this piece together. So I'm just going to let you stitch this, and then I'll get back to you to show you the rest of this poncho. I hope this makes sense, and I hope it's clear. Okay, so I finished sewing my poncho in, so I'm really happy about that. It looks so pretty. And now I'm just going to show you how to create the neck edging. So to begin with, you are simply going to go into any stitch and place on the collar, obviously, and place your yarn. So this is what I call the wrong side of the stitches. So you don't have like a definite stitch on it, if that makes sense. Because this is the side of our double crochets. I hope this is making sense. So what we are going to be doing now is popping our hook through, pull up a loop, and chain one. And now we're just going to go round this neck edging and to place single crochets all around. So I'm just going to go here and place a single crochet into that, and then I'm just going to go into another stitch and place a single crochet into that. And because this is not the right side of the stitches, it may be a bit a question of like placing them equally at an equal distance. So you don't want to place too many for this neck edging, because you want the neck edging to have like a bit of a tight look to it, if that makes sense. You don't want it to be too baggy, but you don't want it to be too tight either. So just go and place as many single crochets as you think you need. And yeah, just go all the way around. I'm obviously, as you can see, placing my single crochets and tying in my loose end as I go, but you don't have to do that necessarily. So just go ahead and place your single crochets all the way along, and I'll meet you back to show you how to finish off. Okay, so I've practically finished my neck edging. I hope you can see on camera. I've placed my last single crochet onto the project, and what I am going to be doing is going into the first chain that we created, and I'm just going to slip stitch through that like so. And now I'm going to fasten off, so just snip off your yarn and pull through. And now I'm simply going to be sewing this in, and this is our neck edging. So it looks really nice and neat. So obviously on my blog there will be more pictures of this, so I'll just let you head over there. And now I'm just going to show you the bottom edging. So here we go. So when I'm talking about the bottom edging, I'm talking about this V right here, and we're just going to go all the way around this large V at the bottom of the project. So to do this, I'm just going to pop my yarn into one of the it's not really, yeah, a corner, I suppose, and just attach your yarn. And what we are going to be doing is exactly what we've done for the neck edging, placing a single crochet all along the edge, although this time we will be placing quite a few single crochets, so we're not going to try and make this part tighter in any way. We're just going to place single crochets equally all along this edge. I hope this is making sense. So you may want to place a teeny bit more than you have on the neck edging, just because we don't want this part to be tight. We just want a series of single crochets all along this edge, because after we've done that, I will be showing you how to do row 2. So just go ahead, go all the way around like so, up here and then down again, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row. So I'm back and I've almost finished this first row of single crochets. What I am going to be doing is slip stitching through the first chain one that we did, like so, and this is what it looks like. So now what we are going to be doing is placing a row of chain arc edging onto this second row. So just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this goes with this first stitch here, and we're going to skip the next stitch. This is a bit, you can't really see my stitches here, I don't know why, but bear with me. So skip one stitch and go into the next. It will be clearer in the next stitches. I hope this is making sense. Place a single crochet. Now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip one stitch and go into the next. And place a single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip one stitch and go into the next, and place a single crochet. And what we are going to be doing is chaining 3, skipping one stitch and going and placing a single crochet into the next for the entirety of row 2. And then once you reach this beginning, you will be slip stitching and then tidying up all your loose ends. And that's it for this project. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for tuning into this video. And yeah, see you next week. Bye bye.